My best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. I saw no shadow, I looked around, searched every building and home that I found. I saw no shadow, but felt the glow. The warmth inside me, it kept me afloat. It felt like heaven, it found my bones and gave me comfort when I feel alone. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend to 23. She left her body and hovered above me. Best friend to 23. I heard the heavens crying above me. They gained an angel, I lost a friend. I felt like dying again and again. I went through hell, stared at death, but I keep fighting with each living breath. I saw no way out from where I stood. Felt like the fire had burned me through. Now you're gone, I'm alone. I guess it's time to get better. Through the pain, I will go alone. If I fall, break my bones, I will scream even louder. 'Cause I'm not dying alone. I lost my best friend. Inside your self-righteous symphony, I would rather let this go than to bring it up again. But
Wow, computers don't like us, you guys. What's going on, nerds? All right, we're back. Another Thursday, another Burly Fishing Podcast live, and we have a very special guest with us here tonight. So we have Hunter from Z Bait Co. If you guys are familiar with them, they've put a number of baits in the Monster Bass box. So a lot of you guys follow us from Monster Bass. You know that we make a lot of videos for Monster Bass. This podcast is sponsored by Monster Bass, so why wouldn't we have an extra special bait company who puts awesome baits in the box / bag now on the show? Hunter, how you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. It's nice to see you guys again. Haven't seen you since iCast, I guess it is.
That's right. We met at the Rager the last night of iCast. Is that right, Paul?
That's how it happened.
Allegedly, this happened. So we're excited to have Hunter on for tonight. Thank you so much for your time, man. And
oh yeah,
you got. So we had a little technical difficulty before the show. I think we worked out the kinks. I think we're good now, and we're excited to dive into the show tonight. So if you guys would do me a favor, be sure to subscribe, smash the like, ring the notification bell, share this current podcast that is occurring at this very moment in time in history with anybody who can spell the word fish. Because if we break 100 viewers concurrently live, then we'll roll a special giveaway. There will be an extra giveaway. This is always online every episode we do, so you guys know the drill. This is sponsored by this is a podcast sponsored by Monster Bass, the podcast, and they have a gift card for us that we give away every single episode. So you get a $25 gift card on the line for monsterbass.com at the end of the episode when we do the slow rolling thunder round, and that's always a ton of fun anyways. So $25 on the line for that. If we break 100 concurrent viewers, we'll throw something a little extra in there. And Hunter, I understand you have a bunch of spear point hooks or something. You want to stab our viewers with some spear point?
Whole bunch of hooks. I got drop shot hooks, EWG hooks. Just got them in on our website. But I got some extra ones.
Nice. Okay.
Those drop shot hooks are actually pretty heckin' cool.
Yeah. I like those a lot for sure. All right, you guys. So if you're listening, audio format, drop us a 5-star review. We appreciate it. Gives us a big leg up in the big podcast world. There's like 10 billion podcasts out there. Paul, how many podcasts do you listen to? 502.
I used to listen to like 6 or 7, like when I listen to podcasts. Now I don't like drive anywhere, and now I don't have time to do anything. I don't even get to watch YouTube anymore.
That's fair. Neither do I. Anyways, just give us a 5-star review. We appreciate you guys. You ruined my point. All right.
I know. I killed it.
If you packed bait all day, maybe you'd listen to more podcasts.
There you go.
If that's a job offer, I accept.
When I'm organizing tackle, I typically will throw the AirPods in and just listen to podcasts. I get it. Oh, is Debo in here? What's up, nerd? We got some folks in here. Yeah, this is looking good. Lots of members in here. I see lots of little BF logos. I love it. All right, Paul, hit me with the Q of the D. What do you say?
Before I hit you with the Q of the D, December 23rd, next Thursday, is a very
important date.
It's a very, very important date.
What's happening?
So you guys, if you'll remember, Don, the turkey hunting, bass fishingist, bear man from Autism Anglers,
man of the world.
He really is.
Custom rod making dude of all dudes.
Was on a show, and we had an awesome time with him. We were able to raise some money. We're going to try and do the same thing. We may have some content creators that you know and love on the show as well, helping support Autism Anglers. I will say this. This is all I'm going to say. There will be giveaways. There will be a lot of giveaways. There will be a gigantic... At least 4 or 5. There'll be a gigantic box of reels, baits, tackle boxes, all sorts of things for fishing that Burly Fishing is going to pack up and send directly to Autism Anglers. We love working with them. We love the people there. We love the mission. And so we want to support them. So please come check out next week's episode. You'll have a chance to win some awesome stuff and a chance to donate in any denomination to a fantastic cause. And we'll make it a lot of fun. I promise I'll write a fun show. But please come help us help some people who need it. We would really appreciate it. But going to be a super fun show. So next week, Thursday, we are having one, and it's going to be lit. That's what I'd say about that. Now, Q of the D. Question of the day. This one's a fun one. So Hunter, this one's coming to you first, and then Jeff and I will tag in as well. What is your standard highway driving speed? So like when you get on the highway and you're cruising and you got a long ways to go, but anything more than 10 miles on the highway, where are you setting the cruise control and why?
Well, I guess it depends on the road. I'm in southeastern Pennsylvania, so it can take anywhere. If you go 10 miles where I live, it could take an hour and 10 minutes, depending on where you're going.
Yeah. But what's your speed? Like, where you put the speedometer? Where are you hitting cruise control at?
I mean, if I was on an active, let's say highway, probably like around us, maybe like 60. But if you're on an actual highway, we can go 70, which just got approved as of the other year. So you're like 72, just enough to not get pulled over.
Yeah.
Right.
Welcome to the real world. We're 70 pretty much everywhere. So welcome.
We have 75 in many spots.
That's right.
Oh, wow.
That's a base limit, man.
But I like
for me,
your logic is like a few miles over the speed limit.
Plus
so you don't have to worry about it. So 2 miles over at the high side.
Yeah, I have noticed though, to be honest, having a wrapped truck, definitely gone through some speed traps probably, and haven't been pulled over for some odd reason. Which is funny because I've talked to a lot of tournament guys who said the same thing. We were at a trade show and Jordan Lee and Brandon Polnick were talking about it, and they said they were racing each other down a highway and went through like a legit speed trap in like Indiana or somewhere in a Midwest state, and they were both going well over 80 mile an hour pulling their boats, and the cop didn't do anything.
He was like, just a couple good old boys. They just messing around. Yeah. Grandma comes through, 71.
Take her down. They tased her. Take her out. That's interesting, man. It's because they like fishing. Real quick before I answer, the _ Burly Hype Man _ aka _ the fave Snorlaxer this week. Thank you for the super chat for $5. He says the twig is some deadly ! Plus 2 more exclamation points.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
There's a twig if you haven't seen it.
It is fantastic. I'm sure we'll be talking about it. All right. So my speed, 75 is like a common speed on most of our highways. It's like 70, 75. And you're a +2. I'm pretty much a +5 as always, unless I'm following Paul. And if I'm following Paul, then I'm a +12. So I don't know what Paul's gonna say, but it's a lie. It's a +12.
No,
guaranteed.
No. Let me.
Here's Paul on a dirt road.
Let me tell
dirt
first.
road.
You can
dirt
say
road
how
limit. Hang on. Dirt road limit 35. Paul 72.
I mean, dirt roads you gotta drive faster.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to the lake. Boom, and I'm just like, where is he?
You got the dust cloud. You'll be fine. So for me,
I do follow dust cloud.
For me, I'm somebody who's done a lot of miles. I used to drive like 65 miles one way to work. I did that for years. And I drove by a lot of cops, a very heavily patrolled road. It's 94. And speed limit's 70. I did 78 if I wanted to set the cruise and not worry about a thing. If I did 78, I've never been pulled over once in my life doing 8 over. Never. Yeah. So that's it. I'm good. I'm comfortable. I'm not getting pulled over.
Don't come to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, for sure. Horrible place.
We're done.
But in Minnesota, where the speed limit on the freeway was like 55 or 50, I was like, I didn't even know what to do with myself. I was like, how do you guys get anywhere? What are you doing?
That's what it is here. Yeah.
It's like horrific.
70, yeah, 70 or 55 depends.
It makes my heart hurt. So
my car doesn't want to go this slow. It's so
my car's
mad.
lit like a bridled pony. Like, let me out.
Like, come on.
Yeah, just cut it. And so
just cut it.
But my preference, if there's like a lot of traffic, like there's other targets to distract, I'm 81, 11 over, and that's I've actually never been pulled over doing 81. 83, I know you're getting pulled over. If you do 13 over, you're getting pulled over. 11 over, you probably like a 65% chance of making it through. 78, 8 over, no problem whatsoever.
The officer is just like, it's just not worth it.
Well, he'll see I drive a truck and he'll be like, that's a black truck. He probably won't even see me. I don't even register. If I was driving like a yellow Chevy Cobalt or something with a spoiler, it'd be like, get that nerd, right? Yeah, for sure.
When you drive by, you just stare the cop down and you just do this. And he's like, where'd that car go?
Works every time.
Works every freaking time.
I like this. B Dooley said 5 to 7 over. I think that's legit if you're trying not to get a ticket.
Yes.
3 to 5. I've had some family members who were police officers, one that was a sheriff, and he said 5 over, I don't even bother. He's like, I expect most people to do 5 over. He said, if it's late night and you're not doing 5 over, he's like, now I'm suspicious. So now I'm like, 5 over is the minimum.
Driving at or under, and you're just like, it's
That's where I start.
Down. I love it. All right, let's dive in. Let's do the show thing.
Yeah, we're gonna do the show thing. So we start the show with like the same question every time. I don't think I've changed it, maybe but 1 or 2 times. And the question is, how did you start fishing? How did your fishing journey begin?
It's funny, actually. I was talking to the owner of Angler app today about some random stuff, and that came up based on some other work I'm doing for another company in the firearms industry. But I used to fish with a guy for trout in Pennsylvania creeks around here. I used to fish with my dad, but then quickly met a friend or a son of one of their friends, and he was like 20, 21-ish, and I was 10. And we were like great friends, fished all the time, trout fished mostly. But yeah, I pretty much started just rainbow trout fishing, little creeks, and did that for quite a long time into like middle school, and then stopped fishing completely, and then went back into I guess high school sports, and then now here. So kind of like full circle as to where I am now, obviously. But it all started with trout fishing of all things, good old power bait.
That's how that's how I started. Were you like ultralight rod and reel?
Oh yeah. Like the whole just normal like traditional. No, like I didn't really do like fly fishing. I did the whole like split shot thing with a fly on it, because that works. Just being lazy.
You caught one.
Yeah, I used to tie my own flies, so I was like, oh, let's try this. Little bumblebees and stuff.
Man after my own heart. I love it.
So Army Outdoors just dropped a sick super chat for $10. He says, ask Jeff how bright my truck and boat is. Yellow and red. Homeboy has got
it's a lot.
Is it the Triton? It's the Triton, right? It's like the Nissan. It's a Nissan for sure that Ralph Army Outdoors has. And yeah, that with a red boat, ketchup and mustard, bro. Like, it's sick.
Yeah, I love it. Over no matter what.
If he's on base, he's good.
So it's funny that you say you like left it and came back. I've heard that a lot of times from like a whole bunch of people that were like, yeah, used to fish when I was a kid, stopped in school, got back into it like maybe college.
Titan. My bad, it's a Titan.
Yeah, I mean, like I was like bass fished some, like always had rods and reels, and like would fish like a farm pond here and there, but not like I didn't fish a ton, and I definitely didn't trout fish much at all in high school. I was just playing too many sports, and just focusing on that too much and racing motocross and stuff. So it's just I didn't do any of that. And then yeah, like after college, just I didn't know what I wanted to do for a job. Went to school for industrial design and was like, oh, let's go fishing. And then this happened, and we were like, wow, these baits suck. Like, get ripped up and all that really quick. So we were just like, I think we can do a better job at this. And didn't know anything about making bait at all. Not a thing. Like, this is like 2013, 2014. So not really that long ago.
That's awesome.
That's freaking wild. Jeff and I have had the same conversation like 13 dozen times, and we have not pulled the trigger on anything. MONSTERBASS coming in hot.
Thanks for the $19.99 super chat.
Thanks.
I also love the very specific price point of $19.99.
Yeah, always the bargain. It's Rick
only a retailer.
That's totally Rick.
Isn't Rick live right now?
No, for sure.
Show, fellas. Thank you.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah.
It keeps us right underneath the taxable donation rate. They're like, no.
We're doing you a favor. All right, so Hunter, I got a question. What sports? What were your sports?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Well, too bad, nerd. I asked first.
Well, I played soccer, which is what everybody plays at first, right? And then I played basketball, then lacrosse, and then in high school got more into playing lacrosse. And then when I went to college, I played for Johns Hopkins club lacrosse team, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Until you get absolutely leveled by somebody on Army, and then you're like, well, I don't know if I really want to do this anymore.
Happens a lot.
Yeah.
Lying on her back, rethinking life, like, oh man,
Jeff and I,
that was not great.
Jeff and I played rugby in college, and I'll never forget.
Nice.
We went and played Syracuse one year. We played at Michigan State. Played at Syracuse one year when their team was in like the Super 16s, and like they were probably all in the best shapes that they've ever been in their entire lives. And I remember I got caught alone. Their whole back line plus a flanker were running right at me, and I was like, I got this. I remember getting absolutely pummeled. Now, granted, I will say this: I took the guy down, but it was only because he stiff-armed me in the chest and actually lifted me off the ground, and I just didn't let go of his arm. And I was like, "Ha! I tackled you!" As I was like 6 feet under.
You were in the air, just like.
Yes, dude. I also the run. I was playing a guy in high school who went on to be a running back at Notre Dame. And he was a man among boys. He scored like 7 tries this day. And I remember I was like getting really upset because I had tried to tackle him like 3 times and he like just broke my tackles. So I literally just ran and tried to spear him, but he ducked down. So our heads collided. And you're not wearing a helmet, obviously. And he went unconscious, and I did not. So I was like, "Ha! I won."
Over his corpse.
It was the absolute worst. So yeah, you could.
That's rugby,
dude. It's just you just can't play. You can't play that. There's some sports you can't play smartly, and that's one of them.
No rugby for me. No thanks. Lacrosse. Lacrosse was roughing up.
I was about to say we should.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's pretty
you
rough.
You should have been recruited. Like you should have come play with us. That would have been fun.
Yeah. Like still tackling. No aluminum sticks.
I was gonna say no magnesium and aluminum sticks, which is what hurts. I still have scars from playing like smacked with the sticks and stuff.
Yeah, it sounds awful.
That's terrible.
So
we had like 1 inch. We had 1 inch cleats that you would just get stabbed with.
We couldn't wear metal spikes, so that was a key.
You're supposed to not wear metal spikes, but like I don't think I ever got checked once. Did you ever get checked? I never got checked.
No one ever checked the cleats.
We got checked every game.
I think we got checked.
No one cared.
We got checked. No, that's not true. We got checked
on one time. It's
college playoffs.
A lot.
College playoffs, we got checked. That was the only time I ever got checked. Okay, back to fishing stuff. So, you mentioned the story of like how Z-Bait Co. came into being on like basically the genesis of it was a fishing trip. Is that right?
Yeah. So, my parents and my family have a house on the Chesapeake Bay, and so we were down there. There's like this little like development pond. Like if you guys ever see me post like random little pictures of like a little tiny pond, that's the one that's there. It's got nothing but dinks in it. It needs to be dredged bad. It has a hole in the spill well. It's bad. It's like maybe we put some like my friend that I live with, he put some like fish attractors that he built in there last year, and like he went out at like 2 a.m. and he's like and his waders like picking these 5-gallon buckets full of concrete and like bamboo, and he's like dragging them out there, and he comes back and he's like the next day he's like, by the way, that pond wasn't even like up to like the top of my chest waders, and he walked all the way across. And the worst part was the fish attractors were sticking out because he made them a little too tall. Yeah, we would fish there.
We're gonna need more water.
We had a private lake that we fished that was like 15 acres. It's definitely truly one of those lakes that like if we took people there, like we make sure their GPS is off on their phone, like totally secret. And we were catching big fish there, like say 2 and 3 back-to-back 23-inch fish, and like 2-pound crappie, like big fish. So we were fishing there a lot, and we just we had a couple really good days where we were just going through fish after fish after fish, and bait pack after bait pack after bait pack, and I was just like, this is ridiculous. Like coming from an industrial design degree and a specialty in manufacturing and consumer product development, I'm like, there's got to be a better material we can use or design the baits to work well, like, you know, for example, like with the shape of like a hook, right? So like design it specifically around a certain hook to where you have more plastic in a certain area to where it's going to last longer. And then, just like find a better material or develop a better material for it. And I had done a lot of mold making in college, which that's what all bait comes down to, is making and designing the molds for them. Didn't know anything about doing it, but did a lot of research. Luckily, we have the availability of Google and a phone, and basically taught myself how to make bait with the guy that I've been a roommate with for quite a while, and that I've known pretty much since I've known him for probably maybe since like 5th grade, I think it was 4th grade, and we've now lived together for quite a while. He's kind of lived with my family for quite a while, and he helped me design some of the baits, and then we kind of tested them out, and we were like, wow, these actually catch fish. Didn't expect that.
Weird.
I don't think I have. Let's see here. No, I don't have the one, but I have this here. Let me see. So this is
what was the OG?
This is the original Armacrawl.
Oh wow!
Holy long.
Does that come together? The little antenna there that comes together at the bottom, or is that a part?
Yeah, so this is the still, as of this bait's been on the market for I think 3 years at this point. Wow. This is the only crawfish profile where the claw goes straight into the antennas.
Yeah.
And so yeah, like that was the original one. This was hand carved out of wood originally. And then
Paul, do better.
Yeah,
where's my bait, Paul?
I could go get some of the wood carvings that my friend did. They're unreal. And like the bamboo bomber was originally carved out of wood, and like a frog that we had was carved out of wood, and even the mud puppy was carved out of wood originally.
Oh, that thing is the juice.
What?
Yeah, so everything was carved out of wood. And yeah, so we kind of went from there, and then we had silicone molds, which I don't have any of them right here as well. I could go get some if you guys are interested, but so we did them out of silicone. This was made from a silicone mold. So like if you guys have ever seen like how people make like the nice swim baits and glide baits and stuff, they use the silicone molds. Same idea. It's just you're talking super refined, like very small in comparison to a glide bait, obviously. But yeah, so this is like the Armacrawl now. As you see it, it's a lot smaller, 4.5 inch. And so you go from a wood thing to 3D modeling to CNC'd aluminum to the molds that if you guys ever see any of my live streams, you'll get to see some of one of the few bait companies that actually shows like how stuff's made. Most people don't like to show that. It's not rocket science. It's an injection molding machine. But yeah, you can see the big molds that we use. But yeah, the bamboo bomber, I wonder if I have one here. I might have one pretty close. Give me 1 second. I'll show you something pretty wild.
That's the bamboo bomber that comes in the pack. This is the bait
Paul's
that like
favorite bait.
No, this is like seriously one of my favorite baits. Like it's stupid. I have way too many of these. That's not true. I have just the right amount. But yeah,
I'll take some. I have 2.
So here, this is from the archives of the old school.
Oh, what?
That's a new bag of bamboo bombers.
That's sweet.
And that's the original pack. So the thing about these is, and I still have these molds, I occasionally will make some for people. This is the original bamboo bomber. It's 7.5 inches. And we used to flip this. This was made for a flipping bait, right?
Oh, I was going to say it's 7.5 inches?
Wow. Yeah, here, look.
Because the current one's 5. What the heck?
So these are the original ones. We sold out of them at the first trade show we were at. And
nice.
Then we were like, people kept cutting it down, right? They were cutting it down to be exactly the same size. So we're like, oh, let's refine this, make it a little bit better. Yeah. And then all of a sudden we created one of the best drop shot baits that you could probably use on the Thousand Islands or up in like Lake Champlain, or power shot with a 3/0 hook in it. Like most people don't power shot with a 3/0 hook. Yeah, it's just super versatile. Like Paul said, it's becoming one of his favorite baits, almost as much as shaky heading the ribtail worm. You know.
Dude, he's got. You brought all the baits that I have. It's making me upset. No, I seriously. This bamboo bomber. I'm gonna tell a story. I probably told it a dozen times. I went on your guys's. Well, we talked at ICAST. I was like, dude, I love the twig. I fish all the time. I like to whack it on a drop shot. It doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't last long that way because it's just not fair for a tiny piece of plastic. But like,
no, you need the wacky rings. We have the actual size.
Oh, shut up!
Inch,
Gosh darn it!
Yeah.
Because now I have like 38 packs of these, but they're like a guaranteed fish catch. Like every time I cast it, it gets bit. Like it's stupid. It's like, okay, well that's what this is for. And so then I went on the site and I was like, okay, they said to buy the bamboo bomber because we were talking about it at iCast. You're like, get the bamboo bomber, just do it, just do it, just do it, just do it. And I was like, fine, I'll do it. So I get on there and I bought like 3 packs, and I was on St. Clair, super cloudy day, like cloudy water day, muck. It was like we had nothing but east winds right into the break wall. I go out. I threw it onto some rocks on a shaky head, and now I have at least 1 pack with me at all times. It has
a go-to shaky head bait.
It is. It's a go-to shaky head. It's a stupid good bait for it. And the problem is that now those ones don't rip. They never break. I've had the same one on for like 4 months. It's stupid.
Yeah, on a shaky head, they're unreal. We sell these on my website, but I use Bass Cave tackle.
I have those.
Yeah, so they're Gamakatsu hooks, which I like, but the key is they have a really small, and that's the thing is like people don't realize when they buy the twig how small it actually is.
Orange.
So these have a really small little wire keep. They're really tiny. So they actually fit the twig because the twig is really small. That's why you're able to get all that action like that from really not moving it very much. But yeah, I tested this bait mostly on a medium light spinning rod from Lamiglass that's sort of has a pretty stiff backbone but a very light tip, and I fished it primarily on these, which are they're 1/8 ounce or even 1/16 ounce shaky heads, really tiny, full profile, but that's what I fished it on. And the when we were testing it, the day we were on this private lake, and the day that I realized like that we should stop like messing around and actually get the master mold made for it to produce production was the day that I caught 5 species and a carp. I hooked a carp on a medium light, and I was like, I mean, it just hit it randomly because like you don't expect to catch a carp, but like there was no chance in hell I was ever gonna land this carp because it was like probably 15-20 pounds at least, and there was just no chance. I caught perch, bass, crappie, everything, and we were just like, this is ridiculous. And
it really is.
It's a Ned bait, really. But I've had people that work for some Japanese companies and stuff that are like, no, that's in a class of its own. That's not a Ned bait. That's its own. We basically scaled down a 5-inch stick bait.
Yes.
To be exactly the same size, and then just tapered the tail, so you get way more action. And you can use it as little jig trailers too. Like I have a bunch of these. I use a lot of like obscure brands or like new brands because I do a lot of work for them. But this is a Ned bomb from Battle Baits, which is one of my.
I got some Battle Baits.
Yeah, so I did all his packaging for him. So like I put this
sick.
on that, which is cool.
Oh, that's sick.
Like when it's cold water, just to cut it down like that. It's a really good little setup.
So Debo's, who's in chat right now, sent us the Battle Baits, that drop shot jig that they have. It's like got the 2 tie-ons, right? So you tie to it and you tie to your weight. So I've got a few of those. Those are interesting.
It's funny because I was actually talking to Nick, who is the owner of Angler app at one point. I guess he's just kind of does stuff on the side now. But it's funny because we were talking about Debo earlier on the phone. It's kind of funny that he came in on here.
You can't keep
that nerd out of a cool freaking conversation. It's not possible.
This guy's freaking everywhere. Come on.
It's insane.
It's only because he's.
He
had a question about it.
He asked, "How about putting that on the back of a chatterbait?"
Wait,
I think it was the bomber. I'm pretty sure
bomber.
Yes.
If I was gonna put I usually have one here. If I was gonna put one bait on a chatterbait or a bladed bait, I use a lot of the Booyah blade baits because they have this like, I don't know if you guys have any, but they have like a long like head on them.
Just picks them up. I have one right here.
Yeah, so Dick's Sporting Goods had a blowout buy one get one free last year, and I bought like, I don't know, 25 of them.
Yeah.
And I took them to that private lake, and I had a day like never before because they make a ticking noise they make this weird like clicking noise.
Yep.
And what I use as my trailers is the Armor Crawls all day long. But you got to split the little tentacles because they don't come split. But yeah, so you don't even have to cut them down, just whole thing. Because these little claws don't have a ton of action until they're being ripped, and then they turn downward, and they actually go like this. They don't flap. They go like sideways like this. It's kind of funny.
Wait, so horizontally rigged or vertically rigged?
Yeah, just like in line like you would normally. Like you got like you guys can see, but there's a little like hook thing there, some eyeballs. Yeah, just horizontally. But yeah, I use those Booyahs a ton. Fun fact: I don't even own a jackhammer. That'll like blow people's minds.
What? I usually do, but
I refuse to pay for one.
Jeff doesn't have any either. That's so weird.
Yeah,
Jeff ties them on and then sends them.
I had like 50. I sent them all to Pluto, and Pluto was demoted.
Not a planet,
unfortunately. Not a planet
anymore. It's 64% Jeff purchased. Jeff purchased jackhammers.
Most of the jackhammer stock I have purchased.
Yeah, I downsize.
Yeah,
I use a lot of Japanese chatterbaits.
Ooh,
which
okay.
I don't know if I can say the brands, but I use a lot of imported ones from Japan that are a lot smaller.
Wait, you can't say the brands because of the
because they're really hard to get.
Because of the
no, because of the pronunciation. We'll leave it at that.
The pronunciation.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know how to spell them or say them.
Say it. I love it. So
the pronunciation.
I have a question though about, and this is me nerding out because I work in manufacturing. So I would like to know how in Fart you guys are able to put together so many different colors. Because your guys is like, how many limited releases?
Too?
How many limited releases? How many limited releases do you guys do? Like, we'll say a year.
I mean, I want to actually make more, just because I think it's pretty cool to do some like
the Black Widow,
like random colors. Yeah, so the Black Widow, of course, like black and red is not a, let's say,
secret color,
a unique color, existed. Right? So I added a bunch of flake to it. There's quite a lot of red flake in that. Because a lot of people that are using black and reds are fishing super stained waters. Yep. They're fishing around on South Cypress trees and things like that. And black and red to a fish are like the same color. Mm-hmm. So you need in that stained water, you need more flake if you want to even attempt to reflect any light at all, if there is any at all. So that being a limited edition color, it may get made again. It probably will. It's a good color, but sort of how I see limited edition stuff is it may get ran again. It may not. We just don't know. You got green pumpkin blue ice, which that's about sold out. That was a really good color.
It was so sick. I was pissed because that came out at a time where I like just placed an order. I was like, oh, do I do it again? I don't know.
What are you telling me? That's like my favorite one of my favorite combos.
Yeah, so it's
like I want some. But anyways, go on.
But yeah, so that's in the bamboo bomber and the ribtail worm. And it's funny because sometimes, like that color didn't come out quite correctly.
But
and the funny part is I don't have the recipe for that. So that one will never come back out again exactly how it is now.
This sounds like Jeff cooking dinner.
Yeah, no, it's. I don't know what I did.
That one was good.
If it was good, I don't know how to make that again. All right.
Yeah, so I mean, like colors are tough to match. Like they're tough to create. A color, it's kind of like painting your house. You're like, oh, that color chip looks great, and you put it on the wall, and you're like, that doesn't look anything like the little chip did at all. It's the same idea, really. So
yeah. Can I make a suggestion? Might I throw an idea in the hat here for a limited release color?
Oh, here we go. Saying, I already know what we're coming up with.
Well, hang on. So if you were to have, let's say, a chartreuse color,
I don't know what that means.
It's what we could call it. It's under the sauce. So what we potentially do is, let's say, green pumpkin base, split color, green pumpkin base, copper flake, chartreuse on the other side.
Wait, repeat that.
So green pumpkin and copper flake on one side.
Yeah.
Chartreuse on the other side.
Yeah, well, you're right. Yeah, that's
Can you make one?
Green pumpkin, copper chartreuse, or like a copper chartreuse color. Yeah, it was funny because I was texting one of our field staff, pro team guys rather, that's in Missouri. So all the Midwest states, that color is like super fire.
We're in Michigan.
Yeah, so I mean that's no problem at all. in theory, because we're OEM manufacturing, I could have that made by next week. Because it's quick.
That'd be amazing.
So if you want to do,
I just want a wall. I want a wall of copper truce. Yeah, I will order all of them
just for you. We only have to make like 350 packs in one color. We could just
done.
It'd be a lifetime supply.
Done. And then I'm gonna sell them at a premium. I'll be like, you guys want them
on eBay, on Burly eBay.
Burby.
All right, this seems like a great investment. What do you say, Paul?
Oh yeah, sold. Done.
We take the whole sonar fund that we have and we just dump it on this.
Bye.
Bye, Panoptics. We're not having you. It's
I think
fine.
I actually think that's
who
probably
needs Panoptics when you
that's
have
what I'm
copper
saying.
Truce?
I have a
the
copper
fish
truce
will come to you.
Bamboo bomber. I don't need the fish. I just need water.
The copper truce bamboo bomber. Like, I don't need Panoptics. I just put it out there.
I can't.
Puddle fish.
It is crazy though, because it's not often that, and like I was like, I kept telling Jeff like, you should buy these, you should buy these, and then I would buy them and give them to him and be like, you need to fish these, you need to fish these, you need to fish these. It's not often that I do that. Like, Jeff, how often does that happen where I'm like, this is it, like I found a random bait and this is the one that like I think is great, and I'm it's like it happened maybe
me.
It happened maybe three times, three times this year. Like that's it.
For sure.
And you guys are one of them. It is like legit. The bamboo bomber. You guys, it was not a hard sell. I mean, you already had me with twig, and then I went and bought the bamboo bomber. I literally fished it one day, and I smacked the hell out of everything. And then now I've got one tied on at all times on a medium spinning rig on a 1/8 shaky head, a tungsten shaky head, and that thing is unbeatable.
Prove it. Look behind you. Is there one tied on right now?
It's not this rod, but yes, I always do.
Liar.
It's in the garage. Jeff, what? Well, so I can prove it. So we went to with the MONSTERBASS team, went to the St. Lawrence River to go fishing. It was already tied on. I'm like, oh, perfect. This is what I was going to use anyways. And it was like the green pumpkin gold flake, like 6th cast, biggest fish of the trip.
Between us, biggest
in our boat, biggest. It was stupid. It is just cheat code, especially for smallmouth.
It was stupid. I agree.
Yeah, so that color is really good. Yeah, he's talking about the green pumpkin magic with the black and gold flake, and that is we worked on that color for quite a while. That color is actually pretty complicated to make, but it
really,
yeah. Imagine green pumpkin. You think, oh, green pumpkin, right? That's just green. No. There's like 4 different colorants that go into that color that makes it kind of iridescent. That's why it changes colors. If you've noticed, on an overcast day, it's kind of like an iridescent green, and then like on a sunny day, it's just green. But that's why the smallmouth really like it. We've noticed that just like it's got fished on record. I've fished with it with some of our pro team guys on Lake Champlain quite a lot. They fish Lake Erie with it, and that is just their go-to color besides the green magic, which has a red and gold flake in it with a little bit of blue pearl powder. But yeah, that's definitely a good all around.
The baby gill is like, it's a murderer because it's got that blue and that copper in the green pumpkin. Dude, it's dumb. And for the river, I'll tell you, for the river, it's crazy because I don't know if it's just the blue or what, but that one, anything will bite. It doesn't matter what it is.
I would say just like your colors definitely stand in like a class of their own, because you get a lot of the brands out there where like all the colors look all the same. Like everybody's got the same colors, right? And then you get some variants. You get some swirls and stuff and some cool different colors and whatnot. And then, there's copper truce, which is peak of the mountain. But then you get like all the colors that you guys have. I think they really stand out. Like they really do. I think you guys do a great job with that. Yeah, I am going to steal a bunch of Paul's bags of these baits. Where's my gift bag, man? Paul's just stocking up.
It's actually back here. I actually have a bunch.
Wait, do I get them?
Yeah, my last order from Z has 2 bags of bombers for you, and then 1 bag of the ribtail worm.
Well, gosh dang. I appreciate
so there you
it.
go.
Also, I do want to call out, apparently I see a whole bunch of Rick Says Hi in the chat here. So welcome, MONSTERBASS crew. Is the MONSTERBASS live over? That's weird. I thought they never ended. It's always going.
They end eventually.
They
Welcome,
do end
Monster Bass
eventually.
crew.
So welcome, Monster Bass crew. You guys are awesome. Thank you for being here.
So you sent me a quick video today of the just racks on racks on racks of baits that you have going.
That
right
was
now.
insane. He showed me it before we went live.
Yeah.
Where is that
Yeah,
at?
so-
Is that in your garage?
Yeah, that's downstairs. So we have like a mini manufacturing shop that you guys will see in the live videos that I do sometimes.
Mini.
Yeah, it's not. It's like imagine like a 2-bay garage, like 3-bay maybe. But it's got super high ceilings and whatnot. But yeah, it's got the machine in there.
3.
And we have all the that's where all the bait gets hung and as it cures, and then I bring it up here and I package everything. Yeah, that was like 75 or 80,000 pieces of bait, which really, it sounds like a lot, but for Monster Bass, we did 70,000 twigs. So that was 10,000 bags of bait. And I packaged every single one of those myself. So if you
so let me ask you this before I ask you the question I was going to ask you. How good are you now at Ziploc bags?
Just like
because I suck at Ziploc bags. Like, do you just grab a Ziploc bag, eyes closed, and just instantly seal it first try every time?
Yeah, so like the twigs, after doing 10,000, first off, I was sitting in this chair, but I had like a bruise on my arm from leaning over on my side, packaging them. But I could just watch, because the twig, you get to the point when you're packing something like that over and over again with manufacturing, that like you can just grab into a bin of 20,000 sticks and just go like this and grab the perfect amount every single time.
Like
and now that's just because the twig is so thin, right? So you just like grab it, stick it in. So yeah, you don't even look. I'm just sitting there watching YouTube or watching anything on my computer, and you're just doing it, not even like paying attention anymore, because you can just do it so consistently. But you get to pack in the armor crawls or the ribtail worms, and that's a whole different ball game. That takes a lot longer.
So this is just you. You packed 10,000 bags?
Yeah.
Or 10.
He touched my worms, all 7 of them.
Paul, gosh, Chaz, sound clip that, please.
It's all right. They're pretty small. It wasn't like big.
Chaz, flip it.
Accurate. Great.
The whole thing, Chaz. Thank you.
I mean, there's.
Dang it, Paul.
I get help. The guy that I live with, he helps me sometimes before trade shows, or occasionally I'll get some of the pro staff that live around here to help if we really need it. But yeah, I mean, right now, pretty much I'm packaging everything myself. I am looking to move to a different place, not too far from here. That's pretty much all I can say about that. And that'll be pretty good for the company. And let's just say another bait company next year. So definitely going to grow to where I don't always have to be the one packaging all the bags of bait, because it's a little difficult to do that.
you don't say.
So I've never seen a bait pack that had dual seals like you would see in like food manufacturing, where it seals, like the machine is just a tube, right? Like this would be a tube with a pattern. And then the machine seals, and every time it seals, it's sealing the top of one pack and the bottom of the next pack. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So
this seal right here would be like one seal, right?
Yep.
And then the next seal, the next time it hits, would be the top of that pack and the bottom of the next one. I've never seen that before. And then like the machine just drops pieces into it as it's doing that. Is that like a thing in like manufacturing of baits, or no?
Oh yeah, so like not for like technical baits, like like a ribtail worm or like an armor crawl, you're not gonna be able to do that. But say for like stick baits, or like a
Senko or whatever.
Yeah, so like remember Gary Yamamoto bags when they had like that little pouch in the back, like the little like the front face, the front was, and then like the little pouch in the back, the old school bags, and then they had like the Berkeley Havoc bags were the same way. So those get produced on a machine that I've been told is quite large, like the size of like
it has to be 2 stories.
Pretty big, and the baits are getting tossed so quick that sometimes the machine misses them, because when it goes to laminate the bag into 2, the baits actually don't get into they don't get into the bag.
Yep.
But those machines cost like over $1 million. So,
yeah, I mean, I was just curious, not that you
Casual
would get one. I just wasn't sure if that was even a thing because I've never seen a bag that I could tell was produced that way. They always have a rounded bottom, and I know if it has a rounded bottom, then that's just not how it was made.
Yeah. Yep.
Super interesting.
So it is possible, but yeah, it's just crazy expensive.
That is definitely a pretty penny. Venture capitalism, anyone? We figure this out. We make it happen.
Because the thing is, I've worked in food manufacturing for a long time, and if you ever watched any kind of breakfast bar, Rice Krispie treat, get mass produced, where literally you could fill a warehouse in a week. I mean, by a warehouse, I mean like a 20,000 square foot warehouse in 1 week's worth of production. Those machines, watching them seal is probably the most mind-bending part of the whole process. Like watching Pop-Tarts come off a line will blow your mind. The speed at which they come off and the speed at which they get packed, and you know how many people are touching all of it? 0.0 people are touching that whole process. It's insanity.
I do appreciate your decimal points that you took it to the 10th place.
I just like to be accurate with it.
Very accurate. So great. I absolutely approve of it. I do also want to call out that Greg apparently watched. I posted for members, if you guys are Sharkdeucers or Snorlax level, you just got access to a video that's been in drafts for a year. And it's a sonar comparison to the Aquaview Lowrance. What do we have? The Hook 2. Yeah. And the Vexilar FL8 SE, the Gens pack. So I just made it live for you guys if you're members. Now, if you're not a member, you can click join below. You can figure out what it's all about. But this is a quote from that video. It looks big because it's dense. It's actually pretty tiny. And this is Paul with a tungsten ice fishing jig on his Vexilar.
Again, just being very accurate with my speech. You're welcome.
To be fair, to be completely fair, Paul did post a video of me because he edited the winterizing the kayaks. Where it's like, I was like, guys always ask me why put it in the rear. And then I just go, ha, damn it.
And then I cut it out. Instead of posting it to the members only. That's cool.
It just lives on Instagram.
Stab your friends in the back. So I do have a question about ZBaco. How did you come up with the name? I'm always fascinated at how the names of these companies become things.
So just like most brands, right? You're like, okay, so I have my friend that I live with, Dom, or we were starting this thing, and we're like, okay, what do we do? Like, my name's Hunter, his name's Dom. No, that doesn't really work for anything. And then we're like, I don't know what to do. So then a friend of mine, so I had a lot of friends that worked at Under Armour at the time, and so they were all graphic designers for Under Armour, and so I was talking to them, and they're like, oh, well, just start going through the alphabet and create letters that remind you of fishing things. That's the most basic level, right? So I'm going through. I'm like, okay, no. So I'll go backwards. I'll just start with Z, and pretty much didn't get past that.
That's so great. Start here, done.
You got so you have the Z, right?
Yep.
And then you have fish hooks.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's an I right there inside. So it looks it's actually a refraction of this part of the Z is right there. And then you have the EE, which has two little bait fish tails in it. And then the big Z is the head of a fish eating bait fish.
Oh, no! What the F? How did I not see that?
So, yeah, so once you see that...
I can't unsee it now.
Oh, my God! That has to be a TikTok. I'm going to make a TikTok out of that. That's unbelievable. Whoa.
No, do the TikTok where people just watch it over and over again because they're like, I don't get it. Or you're just like, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
That's exactly the TikTok
the whole video.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
That's so sick. That's so sick.
I have 10 times the amount of respect for this company now.
Yeah, that's the whole
insinuating you had much less respect.
No, insinuating that it was high and now it's 10 times higher, which seems incredible until you can't see that.
I actually don't know of another fishing brand that has a name. Like the FedEx logo has like the arrow in it. Like I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And like Amazon is A to Z with the smile like in underneath it.
Yep.
But like I don't know another fishing brand that actually has like a fully hidden image in their logo.
That is stellar. That's why you get
Tackle Warehouse kind of, but like
no, I got that one back here somewhere.
Yeah,
everyone does.
That's BS. I got you guys right here too, and I still have not ever seen the fish eating the tiny fish.
I made those rabbit bait stickers.
Oh, really?
You did?
Yeah.
No way.
This one's still alive and kicking. But there you are. And I still never saw the fish eating the fish. Now I'm ticked off myself.
Yo, you know what? You know what? Matthew McDonald wanted to see our ice fishing video so bad he just upgraded his membership to Shark Deuce level. Welcome, Matthew McDonald. Now you get to see all the innuendos that go on.
Now he's gonna have a problem because he's gonna get sucked into all the good guy buddy insane jokes. What you get the curses now, but then you're gonna be now I need
free curses.
Yeah, pretty soon now he's gonna need a Ned Rig Nerd shirt and he's gonna have to go straight to the top. It's a vicious cycle.
I love it.
Wait, hold on. Debo says Reaction Innovations used to have a secret camo on the package. That's not the purple one, is it?
It would have been the old packaging, yeah. The new metallic packaging, I don't think has anything. But
I don't have any of the old packaging. Burly Hype Man is saying also that the baits he just sent me from Slick Bait Co. The curly tail worm is the L. Hang on, I gotta see this.
Now I gotta, man. Now we're gonna go down this rabbit hole. Well, I think that's amazing. And now I want the sweater that you have on now because that's freaking awesome.
If you guys saw the sweet autism baits that I got sent, this is Slick Bait Co. So SL curly tail worm.
Oh, that's who made those. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was supposed to do some graphic work for him, but I never did.
Oh, really, dude? You just
I don't know. Maybe I was supposed to.
I can't zoom it in. There's puzzle pieces in there for autism.
That was really cool.
Puzzle piece glitter. That's pretty cool.
It's so sick. And they had like these crazy Ned baits like that.
There's no way we could shoot those in our machine. They would totally get clogged up.
Look at the puzzle pieces are down here. Oh my god.
That's just too big.
Yeah, it would never
crazy.
It would never go into like the ribtail worm. There's just no way it would go into it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's freaking bonkers.
Sweet.
So the next thing I wanted to ask was about the bass syrup.
Mm-hmm.
So you talked about, okay, I'm not a bait designer or anything like that. Oh, what? I'm not a bait designer or anything like that, blah blah blah. And then you find yourself at some point, how did bass syrup become a thing, and like when did scent like enter the equation?
Yeah, so that came in pretty quick because obviously most soft plastics have some level of scent. To a degree, obviously Zoom doesn't have any scent. But I used to use a ton of Gambler products. Which have a ton of garlic scent, right?
Oh god,
yeah.
It's so
almost as bad as Buddha Baits is the worst one.
No, Buddha, that's the one. That's the worst one. You crack that pack, and like 6 people, like 6 blocks away, are like,
shoot,
what?
Yeah. So,
okay,
we were basically testing different scents out, trying to find out one that we noticed the fish reacted to in the sense of really like hold time that they reacted to, or like when it's really cold, like you guys would have the same kind of bite that we get where they're like nibbling on the bottom and they like nibble your bait, but they like they spit it like the second you try to hook set, like
it's like everyone, they all turn bluegill on you.
Yeah, and like
100%.
we're like, okay, so we're testing out all these different scents, and then we had that prime scenario where they were just spitting it quick. We were fishing the mud puppy on a wobblehead and slow dragging it, and you could actually see all the bite marks that the fish were making all along the body.
God,
but the hook set was impossible. Like they were just like, it's almost like they were like bedding and they were trying to get rid of it, but it was like dead winter. Like that wasn't the case. And we put some scent on there, and we used to use a lot of smelly jelly. That's a really good scent as well. And it kind of had the same reaction to that. So then we were like, well, let's put this in the baits So like all the stuff that comes in a white packaging, there's a bamboo bomber stuck to that. Has coffee and garlic scent, and
Okay.
and then of course we have like the bottles of it. That kind of came after the fact, because we were shipping like a little bit big. This is 2 ounces. We were shipping like 6 to 8 ounce size bottles to our pro staff, and they were using that on all the tours that they're on. And there would be guys like in the back of the boat fishing with like a ribtail worm that they had soaked the night before in like crawfish or earthworm scent or something, and they were catching more fish than the guy in the front of the boat. And then they had like this little bottle, and they're like whipping it out, trying not to show the main boater, and they're like, the main boater be like, "What are you like? What does that smell?" Like they can smell it from the front of a 20-foot boat. And
that sounds so smallmouth crush.
It's Smallmouth and Epic Eric, man. We just hung out with them on the St. Lawrence, and we learned all about their bait soaking situations.
Oh my god!
Well, because Travis didn't quite. I know Travis from doing a lot of trade shows with him.
Yeah.
And it was kind of in the same scenario. Fishermen are so skeptical. And
oddly so.
Right, and like they don't want to try something, but at the end of the day, pretty much whatever's in the water for the longest is probably going to catch more fish. Kind of how that works.
Yeah.
But Travis like kept asking about this scent and like didn't believe that scent worked. He knew that like smallmouth were very susceptible to it to some degree, and like if it's oil based or water based, that makes a difference. But for our stuff, it's mostly like a masking agent. It's just something that's gonna like explode essentially in your mouth that like you just don't know what to do, and then by that point you're hooked, so it doesn't matter. And there's a video actually that Smallmouth Crush has, and he was fishing and wasn't catching anything, but he could see them on his graph. And then he remembered that he had a bottle of the bass syrup, and he was fishing those. He was putting stuff on his fish for like over 2 hours, and then 2 or 3 casts, I think it was, after he put bass syrup on it, he was catching. He had a bag limit, like, and then after that, he sent me the video, and he was like, "I'm a full believer now." Like,
dang, that's I love it. Yes.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, Travis has some unusual things that he likes to talk about and ask about. Hence why Eric always just says, "We can't talk about that tonight."
It's really they moderate each other very well.
Oh yeah, they're both good guys. And I love being on the trade show circuit with Travis. He's always a fun time.
Dude, he's a blast. I love those two.
I don't think we're allowed back on his show.
We got completely banned.
Yeah. Debo did have a good question. What's your number one selling bait and color?
Yeah, so the number one selling bait, period, no questions asked, by a 20% margin, probably would be the bamboo bomber.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it is in the most colors, so does that play a factor? Possibly. The number one seller, I would probably, without looking at analytics, would have to say watermelon red.
Yeah.
And probably, I'm trying to think of which colors I have to. I mean, Junebug is probably up there. It'd probably be green pumpkin, Junebug, and watermelon red. But that's because our Junebug 2 is a classic. Goes back to me liking Gambler.
Yeah.
I replicated Gambler's Junebug. I'm good friends with the guy who helped Gambler develop their Junebug color. He now makes rods. He makes really nice rods. And that was the first thing when he walked in my booth one time at a trade show 4 years ago. He's like, "This Junebug, it reminds me of the Gambler Junebug that I helped him develop way back when." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's because I basically copied it because it was great." Like, why not?
It's super black is what it is. It's like black, but it's black, but it's like super black.
Gambler Junebug is mint.
No, I meant like it's like a souped up version of black, like because it's just got so much more depth. I totally agree with that. Actually, that was what I bought. Sweet. That was what I bought as like the dark color, no question. Yep. It's better. Honestly, I like that more than the black and blue, which is kind of crazy because
I mean, most of the guys that we were testing stuff with originally were fishing in Texas, Florida, Alabama, and Louisiana, and parts of Oklahoma, and they're big down there on fishing a dark Junebug at night, which is like, well, you might as well just use black and blue or black and red or black and whatever because it's all just black. But they sweared that the dark Junebug for some reason worked a lot better. And the biggest fish that we had ever had on the original big bamboo bombers, right? Was they caught 2 10-pounders back to back on one in like basically 2 casts in a tournament, and it was on that June bug color. So we were like, okay, well, I guess we don't need to really change that anymore.
No, what you need to do is start making again and call it the squid.
Yeah, right. Big old thing.
Yeah, right. Come on. Come on. I love it. So I do want to ask about terminal a little bit though, because I ended up buying a crap ton of, yes, Devo's placed an order. Heckin' yeah. The
Something about purple.
The underspin with the Colorado blade, I bought like a handful of those, maybe 2. Because how often do you see that? Especially with that little extension. I wish I can go get it. I'm gonna dig it up in a second. But talk about the terminal, because you guys actually have like a solid selection of terminal tackle on the site as well.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said earlier, we do sell some like of my friend's company stuff or anything like that. So like Bass Cape Tackle, which is great. Of course, you could order them from his website, but while you're ordering some soft plastics, might as well get some. And then I don't have, well, there's a whole rack of them, if you can see right here, but you got that X swimmers here.
Yeah,
oh, nice.
And then the X blades, which are our underspin that are custom made for us. And the big thing about these is a nice big gapped hook, and then this little extension piece here, to get technical, is that it needs to go past the gap so that it doesn't, your blade struggles to go in. Because when you cast and you reel it back in, you're like, well, the blade wasn't doing anything the whole time,
Yep.
So we have these in a hammered willow, and then also a non-hammered Colorado blade, which
that's
actually,
one I bought.
Yeah, there's not a lot of companies that make a nice sort of, these are 1/4 ounce. 2/0 hook is the best size for your 3.7 inch, and your 3.5. We have a couple different sizes, but I am actually working on getting some hammered gold Colorado blades done. Because the gold is what a Colorado blade typically would be, because that's when you're got more stained water, so you need a deeper vibration or a wider sound path, really, to spread out more.
I just want it for different days, man. So here's the Colorado blade. I freaking love this.
Yeah,
it's understated. I love the arm, and then there's a swivel at the back. This thing is heckin' awesome. And then obviously the screw in at the front. You probably can't see that. This thing is awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, I pretty much have a bamboo bomber, a twig, and a X swimmer of some size or another. We do have 1/0 hooks as well now that go on the 2.8s. And I'm actually, I was trying to think if I was going to run a different color in that. I can't remember though. I got to look back at what we're going to run for spring. But then of course just got some spear point hooks on there, which I used to use Trapper tackle hooks. Their drop shot hooks used to be unreal. And when I saw the spear point hooks at ICAST, I was there with one of my friends, and he was like, "You got to check these out. They remind me of those quite a bit, but they're actually better designed in the sense that they just have one point on them instead of the box, so you're not gonna get anything stuck." So I fished with these a lot over the last summer, and I was like, all right, we gotta get some of those on the website. So we got them in EWGs, and we got them in the drop shot hooks, and then they have some flipping hooks coming out soon for the bamboo bomber, which will be sweet.
Nice.
So spear point. It's funny, spear point. When I first got them, I was like, I don't know, and they were lighter wire. And then and it was the EWG, which it was fine. It was fine. I was just like, it's a good hook. But then I saw the drop shot hook, and I was like, F. And I was like, dang it. So I ordered those. Those are heckin' awesome. And then that's when I saw the light wire 1/0s that they have, the EWGs. And I was like, gosh dang it. So now I have like 6 packs of each. They're awesome. They're really good. I think I said it when the show started, when you said spear point, I was like, drop shot hook, boom. Because they are really good.
Them. I like them a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a diehard, at the end of the day, Gamakatsu fan all around. I do use quite a lot of the Berkeley Fusion hooks. They're a little bit of a small. You gotta like size up kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But they're your cheap. They have them at Walmart. They got them everywhere. But they're really good hooks. We're good friends with some guys that work at Penn, and they kind of showed us some of those. And but yeah, pretty much Gamakatsu and then like I said, the Berkeley Fusion hooks. But my little secret weapon was those trapper hooks, and I still have a couple cases of them that I took off the website so I can keep them.
Nice.
But now I don't have to worry about it because I can just use spear point hooks, which sort of fill the same purpose. Because those are really good on the bamboo bomber. They like pinch the front of the bamboo bomber when you like put the little thing with the little like the V gap in there.
Yeah.
But honestly, I fished the bamboo bomber on a drop shot with a 1/0 hook at least. Like you don't, and then it's weedless, so you don't have to worry about anything. You just toss it straight into a big old brush pile, and you're fishing drop shot in a brush pile.
So I used to do that. I'm not used to. I do that a lot. Like I've talked about using, especially if you're getting short struck, even on smaller baits, going to the 1/0, because it's just that light wire. You're nothing seeing that, and it gives you a perfectly horizontal presentation. Yes, it's a little stiff, but it's weedless, so it's got a huge leg up. And so I'll always start with a regular, and then I will a lot of times migrate to the 1/0. I never thought about doing a bamboo bomber on a drop shot. Now,
that's probably, I would say 40% of the time that's probably how most people are probably fishing the bamboo bomber. If they're a like a fairly well educated angler,
ow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
that
so
hurt.
We're done, Hunter. Got it.
There you go, guys.
Cool.
Show's over. I got a couple of morons.
I'm gonna ban this guy on Discord.
Well, now you know.
If you're intelligent,
how you know how dumb you are.
So I wouldn't do this. I would typically take scissors and do that. But if you've done it enough, you can do it. But yeah, if you guys are gonna fish this on a drop shot, you want to split the tail like that. Put it on a 2 or 3/0 hook. This is the top, the flat part's the bottom. That's key because your hook's gonna hide into these little ridges. And then you just tie your 2/0 or even, it'll still float with a 3/0 hook in it. So you can theoretically power shot with a 3/0 hook and with a bait caster with a 1/2 ounce weight, and you don't have to worry about anything. And then you can just jack your 20-inch fish out of that brush pile and don't have to worry about it.
Well, shoot, gosh dang. I guess we got to do some power shotting here, Paul. What do you say?
Damn.
That's awesome. Like, I've been doing it wrong my whole life.
That's freaking out. That is.
Yeah, we fished a lot of power shot. We were pretty good friends with Brandon Polnick over the past couple of years. We've been talking about trade shows and stuff, and he's just, man, you got a power shot. Man, you got a power shot. Man, you got a power shot. And, then we were like, okay, well, we'll try that with the bamboo bomber or, the ribtail worm. Drop shot the whole thing. It's 7.5 inch, but you can drop shot the whole thing with a 4/0 hook in it. It'll still float.
A 4/0 hook?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
The fish is.
Hang on.
We're talking power shotting in the middle of the summer, not cold water. Drop shotting in the middle of the summer.
Yeah.
Lily pads or around lily pads with a bait caster.
Okay.
30 pound braid and a 10-pound leader, power shot. Whereas you're just getting it off the bottom. Shot. That's all you're doing it for.
Power shot.
Yeah,
when I said that, you got to realize you were speaking a foreign language to us right now. We're literally just wait, what? This is the thing that you can do? Cool.
I love it.
Awesome. We've always said it on the show, man. We are aggressively average anglers. So, part of the cool thing about this show is that we get to talk to people like you who forcibly open our eyes to things we've never thought about doing. So, hell yeah, we're gonna try that this year. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's funny because I'm actually speaking of that. I don't fish tournaments. I've never fished a tournament. I don't want to fish tournaments. I don't even like competing with who caught the most fish on the boat for fun. I don't like doing that. I don't care if I don't catch a fish or not. I used to fish with some people and they'd be like, "Ain't even caught any fish yet." And then my friend that I live with, he'd be like, "Well, yeah, but he's gonna catch the biggest one of the day, and he's only gonna catch one fish." And I'm fine with that. I don't care. I don't need to catch a ton. As long as everybody's catching fish, that's cool.
Yeah. Yes.
But I'm working on another project that may launch probably like February of the upcoming year, which is going to be basically a website that's totally free and totally about finding unique brands, unique tackle, and reviews for anything that's on that website. It's going to be totally free. There's no subscription. There will never be a subscription. All the content's totally free. And it will have profiles for every bait company in the industry. And if it's not on there, all the companies to do is email us, send us product. We'll write the review about it. It might not be a good review, but we'll write a review about it because it's going to be completely unpaid. So there'll be no paid reviews at all that'll be on the website. But the key is it's going to be a catalog. So, you go on Tackle Warehouse, right? This is super cool because you go on Tackle Warehouse and you can find the brand names, right? But they're not categorized by brand. Like, they're not categorized by, like, different things. You can't just see all of them at once. And they don't have the logo because the only thing about it is the logo of the company, right? You don't think of, oh, what's the name called? You think of, oh, that's that cool logo, right?
So the one with the Z is eating the fish.
Yeah, I don't have all this on there. But the key is when you click on the company's page, we won't sell their tackle. I won't sell any of the tackle on this website. It will go directly to their website. So, and if they don't have a good website,
you're making Wikipedia for fishing stuff only.
Pretty much, and there's going to be no subscription. So there's no hook, there's no ploy, there's nothing. It's just content. And then we're going to find people like you guys to help us make videos. And the video is going to be plugged from your YouTube page so that I don't make any money from it. You do. Because I don't care about it. It's just a content creator, and it's just going to be a website.
All you got to do is host the site.
Yeah. And we're going to be able to plug you guys in as creators, and you guys will have your own profile. So it'll just be like a blog where you guys create the posts and stuff like that. Or work
like,
with us to create
these
posts.
Dumbasses don't know anything about power shouting. Here you go.
Never power shouted a day in my life. What a joke. That's awesome, dude. I really like that because having that sort of unbiased review makes a huge differse.
Yeah, exactly. I learned that a lot, like being in the industry. Bassmaster Magazine, Bass Magazine, BASS is actually, he's written articles about my products. I've never paid for any of them. Because day one, I told him, he came in our booth and I said, I'm never going to pay for you for an ad slot ever in your magazine. Sorry. Yeah. If you want to write about our products, go ahead. If you think they're worth it, go ahead. Because I knew that Bassmaster Magazine and all those other companies and like Wired to Fish, they sent me their advertising package, $100,000 to be a sponsor a year. And I was like, nope, whoa, that's like top tier. But like, I was like,
wait, no, Wired to Fish is $100K a year?
NBC owns them now.
Oh,
yeah.
What? You're melting our brains. Our brains are coming out of our ears.
I'm pretty sure it's NBC. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's NBC or MSNBC, whatever it is. Some bigger company bought them. Whoa. They sponsored iCast last year or this. Yeah, it's one of them. Yeah, it's one of them. Bought them out. And yeah, their advertising package is like massive. So I was like, okay, well, like they're not gonna write articles about people that are not paying for ad slots, and I'm like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then so there's a whole bunch of other stuff, which I can explain to you guys, obviously after the show, because I can't explain everything to everybody. But yeah, it should be pretty cool.
That's heckin' awesome.
That's awesome. I love it. I do have a question here from David Ellers in chat, and he asks if bass syrup plays nice with Elastec.
Yes, if you're going to fish with it right away. Like if you are fishing and you're putting it on the bait, or you're putting it on like one of their, like say you have like one of their little, I don't know what they call them, their little tiny baits or whatever, and you have like their like TRD on it, right, as a trailer. And you like squirt some bass syrup on top of the jig, because this doesn't mess with jigs skirting either, as long as you're going to fish with it right away and you can cast with it. In that scenario, you're going to want to cast and kind of create like some oil down in wherever you're fishing. But as long as you fish with it right away, I've been told by my pro staff, it doesn't degrade them. If you were to take like a pack of baits and squirt it into some Z-Man, then it's going to completely turn into snot.
You're going to have a soup. Good soup. Good soup. That's disgusting.
Man. Good question.
I was actually, dude. All right, so hear me out, chat. I was thinking about doing this. You let me know if you want this, because I'm willing to sacrifice these baits for this. Would you like to see like a time lapse of Z-Man baits melting
good
and
idea.
melding with other baits? Because I
Yes.
personally,
do.
selfishly,
No.
I want that.
Everyone just say yes. Stop
Everyone just
whatever
say
you're doing
yes.
and
Yeah,
just say yes.
no one's ever done that before, actually. Like an actual, like, because it takes a long time. I don't
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like I've tested it because I had to test to see if our
Yeah.
baits melt with Z-Man stuff.
Yeah.
And of course they do. But it took like 4 days, I think.
That's
So
nothing.
I have a GoPro I never use, my old
Yeah.
8, and I can set
Plug
it
it
up
in.
to time lapse.
You just plug it in.
You
Fine, I'll
could
do
send
it.
the old 8 to me. I only have 5s.
You're
Dude.
at the.
Bro.
This
I
is
bought
where
like
Paul
6 of
was.
them. I was like, they're cheap. They shoot great video, so I bought like 5 or 6 of them.
And then
I'm
the
like,
10 came out 7 minutes later.
Sell them
Those
all, buy
jerks.
yourself half of 110. You'd be fine.
That's what I did. I actually had
you
a.
gotta shoot from like 4 different angles sometimes.
It's oh god, it's brutal.
Paul had a
Okay.
7 that I gave him, and then he sold it and used it to buy
A 9.
camera.
Hey, the 5s are great.
There.
He did.
I did.
He sent you his 5. He sold my 7, and then he bought it a 9, and then we Monster Bass got us some 9s.
Yes,
So,
they did. Debo, I
It's
still use
funny.
2 Hero 4s. But what for?
I have a Hero
So
3
we can-
Plus.
That's a Hero 8, bro. If you put 2 Hero 4s together, it's a Hero 8. You good, homie?
Super view.
I mean, most people can only post in 180p anyway, so you can't even.
The audio, man. The audio.
Yeah, it is.
Holy
The audio is
Lord,
so
the audio.
different, man. The 9 from the 8 even was so huge.
Yeah.
and
Oh
I'm
my
sure
god.
The, 10
The
is
7
better.
was we talked about it constantly.
Garbage.
How bad it was.
Garbage.
See,
but-
Debo says the input mic. Yeah, that's fair. I hear you.
I did
Okay,
have
so-
the input mic on the 4.
That
Yep.
was huge. So
And
the I do want to call one thing too. I saw it on your site. I didn't even actually know about this. There's actually a couple of things that I thought were really cool, and this just sort of speaks to why you're on the show. So talk to us about the Natural Land Trust Partner and also the Recycle Program, if you would.
Yeah, so I sometimes I post about it. I got a big box on that side of the office that comes from a company called TerraCycle. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that, but it's on the back of like some potato chip packages. Like I think a company called Late July and GlaxoSmithKline, a couple bigger companies work with them. And basically they have these, and you guys can go in there and find any box. Like you just look on their website. You got to pay for it, of course, but it costs money to recycle things properly.
Mhm.
So fun fact is that laminated bait bags cannot be tossed in your general recycling. They have, whether if they have foil in them or not, they're a laminated material. They're 2 different types of material laminated together. So it basically needs to be like shredded and then turned into like, old pallets or like the benches you see in parks that are like recycled plastics, or something like that. So basically, it's kind of rudimentary on the website because there's not a lot of people just don't want to go about doing it. But basically, you can email me, and all you have to do is weigh any of your bait containers. They can still have the stickers on them, like clamshells, bags, even like if you had spear point hooks, let's say, and you take the paper piece out of inside, like the little plastic bag that's left, just keep them in wherever you keep all your fishing tackle, either wherever, and keep them in a box. And all you need to do is weigh the box once it's full, and I'll send you a prepaid label to ship them to me. It could be any bait company's bags. It doesn't matter. I don't care. And basically, I work with TerraCycle to recycle the plastic properly. And we have like 2 boxes right now that are probably like 200-300 pounds worth of plastic. And a lot of that is just from manufacturing from me. Like when we get these bags in and clamshells in and labels in, they're all wrapped in plastic. And instead of just throwing that out, like you get 150 of these come in a little poly bag, and there's 40,000 of these that get shipped to me. There's lots of plastic. Now,
Yeah.
I asked them about recycling bait, and they can't do it because of the glitter in it, unfortunately. But I did do a pretty big push at trade shows. So any trade show that we're at, if you're in Pennsylvania, we're doing one, and then we're doing one in Suffern, New York. You can bring your bait bags or bait packaging there, and I'll give you a discount at the booth right away, and I'll just take them for you. Same with online. I'll send you a discount. There's kind of a breakdown, or I may have taken it off. There used to be a breakdown as to like how many pounds you would send would equate to like say 10% off or per bag. But pretty much I'll just give you a discount now if you send some in. And it can be any bait company. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't even have to be bait plastic technically, but I don't really want to mess with your like dirty yogurt cups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty much bait plastic. And including the trays. So like we have trays in each one of these, clear trays that hold the baits. So those as well. Anything like that. And then I don't know if this one has it. This is the old packaging. I don't think I have the new packaging next to me. But the new packaging, in this little spot right here, it says that 2% goes to a wildlife conservancy. So 2% of net proceeds of pretty much the entire company. Every year I donate to a different company. Last year I gave some money to Natural Lands Trust, which is a local land conservancy near us. And then this year there's a very good chance I'm going to donate money to Captains for Clean Water.
Oh yeah, that's our boy.
ICAST.
Yeah,
they're super cool. This is the only Yeti I own because
Paul has a problem with that.
Yeti gives these cups to Captains for Clean Water according to their website, and then the proceeds of this cup goes to saving the estuaries of Okeechobee Lake into the Everglades, which I think is super cool. So yes, this is the only Yeti product I own, and it is amazing.
So the I
just can't afford them.
We all have our issues.
I buy $300 bait casters, but
exactly.
You have your priorities straight, my friend.
Yeah, this is what I drink out of.
Paul does not.
Yeah. So the guy who runs Captain's Collective has, he's part of. You mentioned you met him at ICAST. He's part of the Waypoint Collective, and he was actually helping run. A big part of when Jeff and I joined the Waypoint Outdoor Collective. Dude, they are doing some amazing work, and they've made some unbelievable media around Captains for Clean Water. So I highly recommend people go check that out. It is like unbelievable. Talk about a dream job, being that good at what you do and getting to do work like that. That's like the pinnacle, at least to me. I'm so impressed by what they've done.
Yeah, they haven't even really raised that much money. Because I look into a brand pretty deep before I would like donate any kind of money, just to see like what their overheads are and all that. And like,
yep.
I think last year they only raised like $1 million some, which for that's a lot of money. But for a foundation, that's not a lot of money.
Correct.
And their overhead is like less than, I think, 15%, which is really good.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna actually reach out to them about possibly. I know Under Armour, being from Baltimore, is a pretty big contributor to helping clean the estuaries that feed into the Chesapeake Bay, which is super disgusting in some areas. But I don't know if they have ever thought about trying to get up into like the Chesapeake Bay and do anything for that. It's mostly just trash, unfortunately, that comes out of Baltimore, but it really messes up all the striper fishing that we do on the inshore stuff. But yeah, Captains for Clean Water does some good stuff. I just kind of ran into them at ICAST and had never heard of it before.
They're great people too.
I love it.
A lot of good beards in that crew. But I wanted to call that out just because, like, I think that it speaks to you've touched on it a bunch of times. It just speaks to like mission driven, like doing a lot more than just like, can I please have $10 from you today? Thanks.
Yeah.
Here's your baits. Like, that is not what we're doing here. And that was one of the reasons I'll place like a follow-up order without even thinking about it, because I like my money to go to places like that, and I am pleased when it does, because like that, like, am I doing it? No, I'm not that awesome. Can I at least do my part, which is be like, hey, I'm gonna sound the horn when I can, and that's where my money is going. Yeah, I'm beyond thrilled to do that. So I'm just very impressed. I think that's really cool. You won't find a lot of people who are like, what % of my company's income should go to not me again? It just doesn't happen. So I love it.
People, 0.
Yeah, I mean, it should be higher. It's just with growth, you gotta cut it off somewhere. I mean, I always had this like theory that like, oh, if we had these like bins, you know, like the little bins that you like put your fishing line in, you know?
Yeah.
Like, why can't there just be a bin at a trade show that just says like, bring all your old packaging for your bait? Because you have like, trying to think of the other missile baits. He's part of some kind of I can't think of what the organization is, but John does some other stuff like that. But it's kind of the same idea. It's just like, well, company of that size, like big bite baits, like you guys don't understand the volume that they're doing. Like Cabela's and Bass Pro Shop and say big bite baits, and then like they're filling like Olympic size swimming pools worth of baits a year, like a year. Like,
well, and the thing too is,
bathroom.
well, it's again, I come from some Fortune 100 companies, right? Fortune 50 companies, as a matter of fact, and
the volume of consumption is insane. You just don't notice it unless you're in it.
Exactly. Right. And when you're in it and you're in at that level, like when you're at a level that's that high and your exposure is that high, there's an expectation that you're being a good steward of the land and that you're supporting farmers that are growing your product, and you are going to be operating at net zero emissions, and you have a target that you're working towards and all of that. And when you hear about somebody who in a manufacturing facility decides that all they're going to do next year as that goal to hit that next thing, they're going to say, well, we're just going to find a way to work with the city where our main plant is, and we're going to recycle that water. And then you start seeing numbers that come out of that, and they're like, oh, it was something like 200 million gallons of water that like didn't end up in like a poop tank and then leaking into the river. And you're like, oh my God, what? And all they did was like, they basically flipped a switch and had a conversation with the city. Like it is, the numbers are insane, especially when you start talking about water and power. When you start becoming a net power producer in a giant manufacturing operation, the number of cities that you can power just by existing is like it'll make your brain leak out your ears.
It's insane. We thought about the whole recycling thing honestly when we started getting approached by monthly subscription boxes, because you just like when you get told like the volumes that the 5 or 6 or 7 monthly subscription boxes do, from the small guys to MONSTERBASS or the other bigger guys, like it's crazy the volume that some of them do, and like you just don't think about it until you pack 10, 20, 30,000 bags, and
you're like, ow.
Yeah, you're like, wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of
bruise.
That was me touching my elbow and saying ow because of my arm bruise from leaning over and packing.
Here, let me
I have 5,000 more bags.
Let me see here real quick. Speaking of scent, let's see here. So the where's that? No, actually, let's do this. So I was teasing you guys earlier with this bag of stick baits. This is the Vital series. So the Vital series stuff is like everyday shapes that we all grew up fishing with, right? Versus the white label stuff is like tournament grade, custom stuff. So I don't know if you guys like baits that have salt. To me, it doesn't really matter. None of the white label baits have any salt in them, and they still catch fish. But these have a ton of salt, and this is something that we might roll out next year just for the Vital series. And then it's going to be in addition to the bass syrup line, but it has to do with salt.
Okay.
If anybody has any idea what that has? No? Nothing. It's all right.
Go on.
So it doesn't.
Tell me what you're trying to get at here.
So this doesn't exist. This doesn't exist.
Remember that we're dumb here, Hunter.
So, okay, so you guys fish salted tubes, right?
That's what I was going to say. Tubes is like the only place where I'm like, maybe I care.
Yep.
Right, but that's just because that's how they were always packaged, right?
Sure.
So imagine if you could take bass syrup, put it in some salt, and just have a little cup, and you could just like sprinkle it like barbecue all over your baits.
Shut up. Really?
Okay.
So we figured out a way to get the scent to go into the salt, and the salt still be dry.
No
and
flipping
not wet,
way.
which is pretty cool. So we're kind of prototyping it now, making sure like this one has earthworm scent, which is my favorite scent. It smells just like the I don't know if I have any here.
Like what my dog rolls in, like death.
No, it smells like Berkeley Power Bait.
Oh,
like
got it.
Slightly above death.
Yeah. So all the stuff in the green packaging has an anise scent, kind of like the little leaves that are on here, but anise scent. But you can take salt and you put like a couple teaspoons of salt in here, and then it like basically transforms it to the other scent that you want it to be.
Shut up.
So we're just trying to figure out how powerful to make it. But yeah, for like tubes, if you could just like shake, like I like Zoom tubes. I still use Zoom tubes. These are our tubes.
Yep.
But if the Zoom tubes don't have any scent, but like sometimes this is a little messy. So if you could just like take your little like season shaker and just put some on there.
Have your KVD coffee salt
so
tube.
We're talking about Bass seasoning? Is this
pretty much?
Oh, shut up. God dang it.
Wow. Yeah,
no,
if it's not
I love it, and I'm in the north. If it's not
called Bass seasoning, I'm going to be very upset.
I will be kind of mad too.
Kuda says tube rub. Some sort of dry rub or a seasoning.
I think maybe we could. I like where you're going with it.
Yep, I'm digging this.
So we used to take. Speaking of that, we used to take. So if you were to cut down a ribtail worm, this is like a funny little trick that a lot of tournament guys use. And you have the ribtail worm, which is the perfect size to fit into a tube, but you need bass syrup to lubricate the tube before you put it in there. It won't. So
shut it down.
But it works really well.
You can't do it anymore.
But then when you put your hook into the tube, it makes holes, so the scent squirts out of the tube then. It works pretty good, and it makes your tube last a lot longer.
I'm sure it does. The lubrication, really.
Has anybody made it this far in the show at this point? I mean, I feel like we've divulged. I think what you're saying is genius, but also the innuendos. Oh my gosh!
You're gonna have to hire a marketing. You're gonna have to put on a marketing clinic for this one.
We'll just go back to the salt.
We'll just go back to the salt.
So back to bass seasoning.
I like bass seasoning. All right, can we do
the tube worm?
God dang! Oh no!
You gotta lube it up. It doesn't work.
That's
all right. Good. We got a giveaway to run, y'all. You guys have made it this far. Good for you. You guys are awesome. All right, so we're gonna do our $25 Monster Bass giveaway at this point, and if you don't know what to do, chat. Just say something in chat. So, do you want to run a giveaway as well, Hunter? Are we doing the double whammy?
Yeah, sure. We can do some. Let's see here. What do I have here?
We're gonna do one grand prize winner.
Should we do like some? Let's see. I got 3-aughts, drop shots, 1-aught. Those are not 1-aughts. Those are 4-aughts. How about like? Let's see.
Wait, does the packaging say 1-aught and you're just calling them on it? And you're like, nah.
No. I just read
it. This is a practiced eye.
No, it was like these are not. Those are too big to be a 1-aught hook.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, so we'll do. Let's see here. I don't have them, but here we'll do these. We'll do a pack of bamboo bombers, some spear points.
Set for life.
Not this color, maybe, but I don't know. A pack of X swimmers. That's pretty good,
dude. That's awesome. Well, we're gonna throw in a $25 Monster Bass gift card.
So you guys are gonna be loaded up. There you go. I love it. All right, so we got some Z-Bait Co. stuff on the line. We got Spear Point on the line. We got the $25 Monster Bass gift card on the line. So the deal is you got to chat. If you're in here, if you're watching right now, you got to type something. That's the only way that you get entered into this giveaway. Once we roll 3 of the 5, right? I think that's what we're doing. 3 of the 5 slow rolling thunder. Yeah, so 3 of the 5 slow rolling thunder questions we will go through, and then at that point we will draw a winner. It will be a random chatter, and you will have to input your email into chat. It will not show up. And what you have to do now, correct me if I'm wrong here, Chaz, is instead of using the hey, look, Chaz is great. All right, so you guys know what to do. Anyways, let's go on with slow rolling thunder.
All right, so this is the slow rolling thunder. It used to be a lightning round, but it's become extended because it's just fun, and so it's now slow rolling thunder. So it's just fun questions, no wrong answers unless you get absolutely berated for your answer. You'll find out if it's wrong or not.
You can't be wrong.
So question number 1 of the opinion-based slow rolling thunder is on your fishing shirt, right? Your like UV protection, lightweight fishing shirt. Do you like to have a hood attached to it, or do you like to have no hood attached to your fishing shirt?
Pondering. This is the longest thought process we've had with any guest on this question. I'm impressed.
Well, because it depends, because the ones that I sell don't have a hood. And I wear those all the time. But if I know it's going to be slightly breezy or extremely sunny, but I don't want to wear a face buff, then I'll wear one with a hood.
So but you can only wear, let's say you can only wear one. You only got one option. It's gonna, you don't know what the day, you don't know what the day is going to bring. Are you wearing a hood or no hood?
Most versatile.
Then it would have to be one with a hood.
Gosh,
you don't have to wear the hood.
Get the fuck out.
Because you don't have to wear
Eat
a
it,
hood.
Paul. Eat it, Paul.
All right. Okay, whatever. I hate the hoods. I don't know why they have them on there. I never use them. Cool. This is a fun show.
So it'd be great if Zbaco could have a hooded sun shirt. I would wear that. I'm just saying.
Not worth it. All right, cool.
No, there's no hood nonsense.
I'm so upset. All right. What is your fishing footwear of choice?
Sims might kill me if I don't say it, but no, I'm just kidding. I'm not paid by Sims. But no, I do have a pair of the Sims. Actually, they discontinued them, but like they're deck shoes that are like the low profile deck shoes with the little like drawstrings.
Yep.
I do like those quite a lot because I actually fish mostly from a bona fide kayak. So usually I'm in a kayak.
These are my people.
Yeah. But I did just buy a boat that will come in the spring. So but I'd probably still wear them on that because they have that no grip bottom. But I'm not a big fan of fishing, like people fishing like boots.
Oh, I was just about to lay you out. If you were going to say something bad about Crocs, I was like...
Well, Crocs people just trip over the front of the boat a lot of times in them when they go off the side of the boat.
Really? Is that a thing?
They're Croc amateurs. Those are Croc amateurs. They're terrible people. Us professional Croc wearers, we know what we're doing, okay?
Crocs and socks.
Crocs.
Yeah,
and socks.
dog. Constantly. I'm about to go do it when I take my dog out, and then I'm going to go do it when I cut the lawn in the spring. Whoa. Strike two. All right, next question.
I'm still on board. Don't worry, Hunter.
Okay, every time he says this, like we don't know. So question number 3. What app gets the most use on your phone that is not work related, social media, or music?
That's difficult because I pretty much only use my phone for work.
Exactly.
It's tough.
Because, I mean, you would have to say what? iMessage? Like text message app? It would have to be because...
Mine's not.
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, if it's not music, which I listen to a lot of, I run 5 or 6 different Instagram accounts, so that's always that.
Delete.
I don't know. What would it be?
It's
Hold on, I'll
work-related,
take a
though.
look. Let's see.
So popular
No,
answers.
that's not still a thing. Is
Popular
it?
answers. It is absolutely still a thing.
What?
Maybe Alibaba.
Alibaba.
Amazon is a top.
Amazon.
Amazon's a top answer
Amazon's a
for
call.
sure.
That's good.
All right, I like it.
Interesting.
So now, Chaz, I think everyone who's gonna do the chatting has done the chatting. So I think we're ready to run.
Hang on.
Oh,
End Stone, Trailer Park Boys. Is that an app? That's a show.
It's just like I watched that show so much.
I used to watch that too.
Well, it was a great show. But... Where? Okay.
Wait, I'm sorry. You drew the winner?
He won. No, he won the giveaway. We got so many things. All right. Daniel Hedrick.
Daniel Hedrick. He said, "Wow." I believe that means
a good start.
He concurs that.
And then
he said thanks.
So that's good. So
Daniel, THX is in the
follow
sound
the
company.
instructions that are on the screen to give us your email address, and we will figure that out. And we'll be side-eyeing the screen while we answer the next couple of questions. So my next question:
do the thing.
If you were to go professional in something other than fishing, what would it be? Don't say manufacturing. It's gonna make me upset.
I don't know.
You did it.
Graphic design.
Really?
Well, I do that already, kind
Interesting.
of, but it's not a legal entity, let's say, yet. But
Cash under the table. Don't worry. This won't be publicly broadcasted or
It's
anything.
cash over the table.
It's cash over the table. That's kind of boring, though. I don't know. Maybe like, I don't know. That's tough.
He wasn't ready.
Yo, hang
Jeff,
on.
your answer?
Chat's got some cool stuff going on. So Adam says lacrosse.
Wrestling,
Yeah.
a music
Larmy
producer.
Soren says wrestling. I love it.
Loop maker.
Specifically to insert a trick worm into a tube, I make a very hyper specific lubricant.
And what I named it was Bon Appetit. Freaking.
Okay. All right.
This
Daniel,
show.
yes.
Oh my God. This show.
Chaz said we got your email, Daniel. So thank you so much for that. We're good. We're good.
We still have
To Burly Hype Man, stop it. You cut that. You knock it off. Rockablade says, thanks guys for the live today. It was one of the best parts of my birthday. Happy birthday, Rockablade.
Heck yeah, brother.
Dang, bro. That's awesome. Thanks for spending it with us. That's why'd you do that? But how many prototype baits have you made that don't make it to market?
Ooh.
Worst color to make a bait. This is obviously for Hunter. We are dumb. So go ahead, Hunter.
Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 baits that we're working on right now that are not technically on the market. There's carved in wood that we never developed any further besides a basic mold, probably like 8 or 9 baits.
Wow. Cutting room floor. Okay.
And
Wow.
but yeah, 2 baits that are in development will probably come out next year.
Nice. Okay. What's the worst color to make a bait? What's the worst bait color?
Orange.
Well, you could have the worst color that shouldn't be made anymore. You could have the most difficult worst color to make.
Yes and yes. I
Both.
want both
Give us
now.
both.
I want both now.
I don't know. The most difficult color to make would just be one that has a lot of different colors, which honestly, the green pumpkin with gold and black flake, although it is not terribly difficult, does require 4 different colors of pink or pigment to make it. So that's just annoying to make. And then I guess there's like an orange creamsicle swirled stick bait color that I think, like, I don't know who makes it, but like I just don't understand that. Like
why is orange on the spectrum of baits that no one that I've ever talked to wants to fish?
100% orange. I'm on board for that. What's your opinion on sweet potato?
Like as a color?
Yeah. No. Thank you, Chaz. As a color.
What the hell?
Dang it. And this is the point at which we are in this show. My opinion on celery, by the way.
so
I'll stay for next episode.
I mean, you have like an Alabama crawl has like a sweet potato bottom to it, and of course that's a pretty good color.
Sure.
I don't think that why would you fish just an orange bait by itself?
I don't know.
Agreed.
It is the last color I'm reaching for.
Anything. Orange
is like
mixture.
if I had 100 packs, it'd be number 100 of what I'd grab.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love it. So can I ask the last question? I still gotta ask it. Top 3 gas station foods for you.
Well, problem is I'm from Pennsylvania and Wawa is a thing here.
Here we go. All right. All right. Hit me with your whatever, sushi or
potential friendship ruined.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not about the knowledge. It's about the fact that you're gonna pick like mashed potato dinner and not like.
Yeah. I mean, you got to remember, I've traveled.
I'm aware. All right, hit me with whatever insane restaurant food that we've got here.
Yeah, so you have to figure I've traveled as far as Louisiana and Alabama, Florida, and northern New York to Chicago for my company at this point in 4 years, all driving. It's basically like being a pro fisherman, but not, right?
He knows.
And I mean, I don't know. Sometimes those like little old like taquito things that roll on the thing is kind of good, but like not really.
They're horrible for you,
tornadoes?
but they're so good.
Yeah, tornadoes. Yeah, see, I don't even know what they are. But
Well, let me tell you.
Someone goes roller dogs. Yuck.
Where I'm
roller
from,
roller dogs.
to get a good hoagie is always a good thing, but that's tough when you travel anywhere else because you can't get a hoagie anywhere else that's as good as getting one. Not from Wawa, because Wawa used to be really good. They're not good anymore though.
What about like a beef?
Sheets is better for a hoagie than Wawa.
What about like a beef stick? What are we talking about if you're gonna go grab like a beef stick?
I mean, I usually will bring my own beef sticks, or neighbor grows their own beef, but I would get beef jerky over a beef stick.
All right, what kind of beef jerky?
I like the peppered beef jerky, some spicy teriyaki. But it's pretty tough when you're stuck in a truck for like 12 hours. When you eat a lot of beef jerky, you get really thirsty, which then you got to go to the bathroom, and that's not a good thing when you're like
the results are not always worth it.
Agreed. What about sunflower seeds? You do sunflower seeds?
Ooh,
yeah, no sunflower seeds.
What about
like
a beverage?
Twizzlers.
Twizzlers. Okay. I like it. Out of left field.
That's good. What about a beverage? We got a beverage, and then we can close it out.
Paul's just grasping at straws.
Lately, I've had it
somehow.
I had to.
He's gonna be like
water,
tea.
But yeah, water. I drink a lot of coffee, like usually espressos. But on the road, that's kind of tough to get. Although I do sometimes bring my own coffee that I grind in the hotel room for breakfast, which is kind of random. But I do like NOS energy drinks, which is not a good thing. But
yes.
The original passion.
I feel like I've been so scared. I've never been bold, and I'll drink an energy drink.
Well, they have way less caffeine than they used to have.
I know, but it's just the can. The whole idea of like.
You don't have to drink the whole thing in one go. I would.
Yeah, you do.
Make your skin crawl.
I'm so scared to drink one. I've never had the.
Have you ever had a Bang then?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, if you can handle a Bang, then you can handle a NOS. Yeah, Bang, so the Bang rep from Philadelphia sent us cases of them before we went to some trade shows.
That's crazy.
How's your heart?
I don't drink Bang anymore.
Yeah, right? Same.
My doctor said don't.
But I'll drink like 4 espressos in a day. So it's no different. It's still 400 ml. But you got all those other vitamins and all that other junk in there.
They're all poison. They're all poison.
We
fully recognize that.
I stick with straight coffee.
I like it. Same. Right. I've been off the energy drink. All right, cool. So we did the giveaway.
We did the giveaway. We got our winner. Charles is gonna give me your email. I'll take care of you. Don't worry about it. Chops, Yak, and Bass. Welcome to the Snorlax crew, man. Thanks for the upgrade. That's fantastic.
Welcome, brother.
All right. We covered a lot of topics today. There were a lot of innuendos. There's probably a lot of sound bites. Any y'all like technically savvy people want to pull some clips, you probably got some freaking gold in this episode. Chaz, this is why we pay you all the big bucks, my friend. You're fantastic. Thank you so much.
All 6 of them.
Don't tell them anything. All right, you guys. It's been another great live. We really appreciate you guys being here. Hunter.
Josh should have an Amazon wish list for Christmas that everyone shares.
Yeah, Chaz.
That's a really good idea.
This is Chaz's problem, not my problem. Chaz.
God dang it.
Nightbot, do the share. All right. So, Hunter, where should everybody be looking for you? Where should they be following? What should they be looking for?
Which one of your 6
2 new
Instagrams
baits you're gonna drop? Where's our bass seasoning / salts? Bass
I can
salts?
send you guys
that
some
sounds
of that
bad.
if you want. Yeah, we weren't gonna go with that. We weren't gonna go with that name.
Bass
I just
salts.
gotta get the little the seasoning things still. I gotta get those.
Oh my god, that would be so sweet, dude. I'm on board 100%. Where should they find you?
Yeah, so I mean, just usually I'm on Instagram the most. It's just at ZBayco. It's pretty simple. Or follow us on Facebook, which is just also ZBayco LLC. I have a TikTok. I don't really go on there anymore, but there's some cool rigging videos on there.
All right.
And if ZBayco.com is where everything's sold. There's a whole bunch of other retailers, but if you want the bait like this in your store or like this in your store, all you gotta do is go to your local shop. I will never go into Cabela's or Bass Pro Shop, but if you got a local shop, just walk in there and mention the name. Maybe they've heard about it, maybe they haven't, but I'm super easy to work with all retailers. So if you want to get in your local shop,
except Cabela's, Bass Pro. Got it.
You got a deal done with Rick. If you can get a deal done with Rick, I feel like you are very easy to work with.
That took 5 years, but yeah.
You see?
It's straight up swimming with piranhas.
Rick
and
was
sharks,
trying to
man.
buy baits when they were still in this packaging.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna reach out to Davey and I'm gonna tell him that what I really want to see,
Bamboo bomber.
even if it's just in a 4-pack,
the bomber.
Well, the tough part is because Monster Bass is all about full packs, right? So that's the problem, is that we can't really downsize too much.
Sure.
Tell them to grow up.
Hey, we'll make it happen. All right, you guys. 100% go to zbaitco.com. Zbaitco, right? Zbaitco.com.
Yeah.
Sorry. Don't go to that other website. It's Jaws spammed it in chat. Look, there's 27 chats of it right there.
I found it.
So go to that website. If I did check the green pumpkin blue that you had, there's like 24 left. So if 24 of y'all want to go buy those out, you should, because otherwise I might. That's like one of my favorite color combos ever.
Yeah. So that's a fun fact, is the website, once it gets to 30 units on something, it likes to show you that that's at 30 units, so you get a little paranoid.
I love it.
But on a limited edition item, that means it might never come back in stock. So I would buy 6 packs or so, probably, just so you don't run out of them, because they last a lot longer.
They really do.
So you guys go pick up some ZBayco stuff, please. It's really good. Paul's absolutely in love with it, but now he's questioning his friendship with Hunter. We're gonna figure that out after the show, though, so don't worry about it. We appreciate you guys very much for hanging out, spending some time with us on a Thursday. You guys are so awesome. And guess what? Christmas is on a Saturday, so we are going live again next week. That's a big day, the 23rd. You guys need to be here. Please bring every person you know to that show. I don't care if they like fishing, because ultimately it's for a good cause. We are supporting autism anglers. We are supporting people and children mostly living with autism. My daughter is one of them, so it's something that means a lot to me. So I really appreciate it if you guys show up to that one. It's gonna be a blast of a show. Bunch of giveaways for you guys. Bunch of giveaways for autism anglers. All of the super chats from that show go straight to them. So it's going to be a blast of a show. Don't miss it. We'll see you guys there. It's Christmas Eve. It's going to be fantastic. Other than that, you guys, we love you so much. Subscribe, like, notification, stuff, things. All right. Love you. See you next week. Chaz, take us out.
Took a swing at a wrecking ball and I prayed for my downfall, and I found a way to reconcile, 'cause in my heart it's not worthwhile. It's a bloody battlefield where some go down, others heal. In the end it's all the same. All you can do is play the game. Oh, do we say goodbye? Refuse to question why. I decided to say I'm sorry, so lie. Pretend that you're okay. Swear that you will stay. Keep trying for one day. I'm sick of all these lies. Don't care if I
my feet and forced me down a dead-end street when all I had went up in flames, burning only dark remains. I cover up every part of my skin, oh, 'cause I don't like the person within, oh. I know I'm the one to blame. All I can do is take the shame, oh. Do we say goodbye? Refuse to question why. I'm too sad to say I'm sorry, so lie and pretend that you're okay. Swear that you will stay. Keep trying for one day. Whoa, I'm sick of all these lies. Don't care if I capsize. There's nothing left for me to hide. Don't wanna live a lie. Too many lows, too many highs, too many things to criticize. So I leave it all behind. Don't wanna live a lie. Sick of all these lies. Don't care if I capsize. Oh no.
I got enough of every melody. They all sound the same. Yeah. For my broken heart, no remedy. But maybe if you stay, we can get away with it. 'Cause you make me love my imperfections, answer all my questions, just to show me what's on the other side of inhibition. No apologies, my baby. How do you do? 'Cause I'm feeling so good. Ooh. How do you do? 'Cause I'm feeling so good. Ooh. Oh, my darkest memories, now let me fall back. But you'll be there, ready to rescue me if I go out of track. We can get away with it. 'Cause you make me love my imperfections, answer all my questions.